Solitaire by award-winning author Alice Oseman. This is not a love story. Chapter 7. We didn't expect anything from Solitaire. We thought the one prank would be the end of it. We were quite a way off. On Wednesday, all the clocks magically vanished and were were replaced replaced by pieces of paper reading Tempus Fugit. It was funny at first, but after a few hours, when you're midway through a lesson and you can't check your phone and you have no way of finding out what the time is, well, it pretty much makes you want to scratch out your eyeballs. Wow. It pretty much makes you want to scratch out your eyeballs. On the same day, there was a Histria in school assembly when the Tanoi started playing Justin Timberlake's Sexy Back. The most well-received song of the year 8, Ig's Turum Disco. As Kent walked up the hall, stage stairs, and the word swag appeared on the projector screen. On Thursday, we turned up to find that 2 cats had been let loose within the school. Apparently, the caretakers managed to get one of them out, but the other cat, an underfed ginger thing with massive eyes, evaded capture all day, strolling in and out of lessons and through corridors. I quite like cats, and I saw it for the first time at lunch in the cafeteria. I almost felt like I'd made a new friend. The way it hopped onto a chair and sat with our lot, as if it wanted to join in our gossip and offer its views about celebrity Twitter rows and the current political climate. I noted to myself that I should probably start collecting cats, seeing as they are very likely to be my sole companions in 10 years' time. My future pet will definitely be a cat, said Becky. Lauren nodded. Cats are Britain's national animal. My boyfriend has a cat called Steve, said Evelyn. Isn't that an excellent name for a cat, Steve? Becky rolled her eyes. Evelyn, dude, when are you going to tell us who your boyfriend is? But Evelyn just smiled and pretended to be embarrassed. I peered into the dark eyes of the cat. I met a gaze, thoughtfully. Do you remember when some lady got caught on camera dumping a cat into a brown bin and it made national news? Every single prank so far has been photographed, and displayed on the Solitaire blog. Anyway, today is Friday. People are being people are beginning to find it less funny as Madonna's Material Girl has been stuck on repeat all morning over the Tannoy. I used to have a small obsession with this song, and I am coming extremely close to hurling myself from a window. And it's only 10:45 a.m. I'm still not quite sure how Solitaire is managing to do all this as Zelda and her perfects have been patrolling the school ever since Wednesday's clocks fiasco. I'm sitting at a table playing chess on my phone during a free period. iPod blasting some Radiohead song into my ears to block out the vomit including music. The common room has only a scattering of people, mostly year 13s, revisiting for January retakes. Miss Strasser is overseeing the room because during lesson times, the common room is reserved for people revising and silence is mandatory. This is why I like this room, except today. Strasser's hung a spare school jumper over the tannoy speaker, but it's not doing much. In the corner of the common room, Becky and Ben are sitting together. They are not doing any work, and they're both smiling. Becky keeps tucking her hair behind her ears. Ben takes Becky's hand and starts to draw on it. I look away. So long, Jack. Someone taps me on the shoulder. Suddenly that I have a miniature spasm. I take my headphones out of my ears and swivel around. Lucas stands before me. Every time we passed in the corridors this week, he gave me these weird little scrunched up smiles. Anyway, right now, he has his bag slung over one shoulder, and in his other arm, he has a pile of at least 7 books. Hi, he says, just above a whisper. Hi, I say. There's a short pause before I follow up with, do you want to sit here? Embarrassment pours over his face, but he quickly replies, yeah, thanks. He pulls out the chair next to me, dumps his bag and books on the desk and sits down. I've still got my phone in my hand and I'm just kind of staring at him. He sticks a hand into his bag and withdraws a Sprite can. He places it in front of me. Like a cat would place a half-chewed mouse in front of its owner. I was at the shop at break, he says, without looking at me in the eye. Is lemonade still your favorite? I look down at the Sprite can, not quite sure what to make of it. I do not point out that Sprite is not real lemonade or diet. Yeah, it is. Thanks. That's, really nice of you. Lucas nods and turns away. I open the Sprite, take a sip, replace my headphones, and return to my game. After only 3 more moves, I have to remove my headphones again. You're playing chess? He asks. I hate questions that need to be asked. I hate questions that need not to be asked. I hate questions that need not be asked. Jeez Louise. Uh, yes? Do you remember chess club? Lucas and I were members of our primary school chess club. We played each other every time and not once could I beat him. I always threw a tantrum when I lost. God, I used to be a twat. No, I say. I lie a lot for no reason. No, I don't. He pauses, and for a moment, I think he sees through me, but he's too embarrassed to push it. You have a lot of books, I say, as he wasn't aware of this. As if he wasn't aware of this. He nods, smiling awkwardly. I like to read. I've just been in the library. I recognize all the titles, but of course I haven't read any of them. T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland. Thomas Hardy's Tess of the Beverleys. Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea. F. Scott Fitzgerald. The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby. D.H. Lawrence's Sons and Lovers. John Fowles, the Collector, and Jane Austen's Emma. So what are you reading now? I ask. The books at least provide a topic of conversation. The Great Gatsby, he says. F. Scott Fitzgerald. What's that about? It's about, he pauses to think. It's about someone who's in love with a dream. I nod as if I understand. I don't. I don't know a single thing about literature, despite studying it for A-level. I pick up Emma. Does this mean you actually like Jane Austen? We're still studying Pride and Prejudice in class. It's soul destroying, and not in a good way. Do not read it. He tilts his head as if it's a deeply serious question. You sound surprised. I am. Pride and Prejudice is dreadful. I can barely get past the first chapter. Why is that? It's the literary equivalent of a poorly cast rom-com. Someone gets up and tries to walk past us. So we both have to tuck. So we both have to tuck in our chairs a little. Lucas is looking at me very carefully. I don't like it. You're so different, he says, shaking his head and squinting at me. I may have grown a few centimeters since I was 11. No, it's... He stops himself. I put down my phone. What? It's what? You're more serious. I don't ever remember, not being serious. As far as I'm concerned, I came out of the womb, uh, spouting cynicism, 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 uh, and wishing for rain. I'm not really sure how to reply. Well, I guess I'm not exactly a comedian. No, but you were always dreaming up all these imaginary games, like our Pokemon battles, uh, or the secret base you made out of the sectioned off corner of the playground. Uh, would you like to have a Pokemon battle? I fold my arms. Or am I too unimaginative for that? No, he's digging himself into a hole, and it's actually quite funny to watch. I... Oh, I don't know. I raise my eyebrows. Uh, quit while... Quit while you're ahead. I'm boring... I'm boring now. I'm a lost cause. I instantly wish I'd just shut up. I always do this thing where I accidentally say self-deprecating, deprecating, self-deprecating stuff like stuff that makes other people feel really awkward, especially when it's true. I start to wish I'd never offered to let him sit with me. He quickly returns to the work he'd got out of his bag. Material Girl is still playing over and over. Apparently, the caretakers are trying to fix it. But at the moment, the only solution appears to be cutting the electrics of the entire school, which according to Kent would classify as giving in. He's got that World War II attitude. Old Mr. Kent. He's got that World War II attitude, old Mr. Kent. I take a quick glance out of the windows behind the computers. I know I should be doing some homework too, but I'd much rather play chess and admire the windy grayness outside. That's my major problem with school. I really don't do anything unless I actually want to. And most of the time, I don't want to do anything at all. You've had quite a good first week, I say, my eyes still focused on the sky. Best week of my entire life, he says. Seems like an exaggeration to me, but each to their own. Lucas is such an innocent guy, awkward and innocent. In fact, he's so awkward that it's almost as if he's putting it... It's almost as if he's putting it on. I know he's probably not, but that's still the way it comes across. I mean, awkward is very in fashion at the moment. It's frustrating. I have I have experienced my fair share of awkward, and awkward is not cute. Awkward does not make you more attractive, and awkward certainly should not be fashionable. Just makes It just makes you look like an idiot. Why did we stop being friends? He asks, not looking at me. I pause. People grow up and move on. That's life. I regret saying this. However, true it might be. I see a kind of sadness fizzle into his eyes, but it quickly disappears. Well, he says, and turns to me. We're not grown up yet. He takes out his phone and starts to read something on it. I watch as his face melts into something confusing. The pips that signal the end of break somehow manage to sound over the music, and he puts the phone away and starts to gather his stuff. Got a lesson? I ask, and then realize that this is one of those pointless questions which I hate. History. I'll see you later. He walks several paces before turning as if he has something else to say. But he just stands there. I give him a strange sort of smile, which he returns and then walks away. I watch as he meets a boy with a large quiff at the door, and they start up a conversation as they exit the common room. Finally, at peace, I return to my music. I excuse me. Finally at peace, I return to my music. I get to wondering where Michael Holden might be. I haven't seen him since Tuesday. I don't have his phone number or anything. Even if I did, it's not like I would text him. I don't text anyone. I don't really do much for the next hour. To tell you the truth, I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to be in a lesson. But I really can't find the will to move. I briefly wonder again who Solitaire might be, but I conclude for the billionth time that I just don't care. I set an alarm on my phone to remind me to take Charlie to therapy tonight because Nick is busy. And then I sit very still with my head on one arm and doze off. I wake up just before the pips go again. I swear to God, I'm a freak. I mean it. One day I'm going to forget how to wake up. And that is it for today. Stay tuned for Chapter 8.